Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I am in the middle of a makeup declutter. I am getting so close to the end, I can taste it. I am going to go through my brow products today. I didn't think I had that much because I don't use a ton of different stuff, but when I started really going through my drawers, I had more than I expected. So let's dive right in. Let me show you what we're going to be going through today. I've got brows, but it's like this is brows for like a dozen people or more. So we're gonna thin the herd. This is from Iconic London. It's their brow cushion. It came in a BoxyCharm years ago. And when I first started using it, I loved it. It comes with this little collapsible double-ended brush. It has a spoolie on one side and an eyebrow brush on the other, a mirror in here. And in this compact, if you can see, there are two shades. This is still, actually it's very dry. This is not what I remember it being. It was very, very wet, first of all. So this obviously is gone. Time to let it go. I have this from number 7. This is their beautiful eyebrow kit. It says it comes with everything you need to create a perfect brow. It has 2 little applicators in here, a spoolie, and then a double-ended brush. They are so itty-bitty, teeny tiny. And I have used these in the past to do my eyebrows with. The problem that I have with this is that this right here is a wax. This wax, I never feel like it actually sets. And so it always, my brow hairs will start to kind of collapse and then they'll kind of stick together because it's kind of a sticky wax. And I don't really like it. This right here is a kind of a shimmer highlight cream that you can put underneath the brow bone. I don't tend to use it. And although I really think this is a good shade here, this one is not a good shade for me. And I don't think that this actually says, I'm looking on the back, it doesn't actually give a shade name. So this may be the only one they make. I don't know. I think I can get rid of this because I know I don't use it. One that I do use, and I wonder if I have the right shade or not, is this. This is the Foolproof Brow Powder from Benefit. I hate the applicator that comes in here. Who's going to be using a not precise sponge tip? It does have a little spoolie that kind of goes on the inside so you can brush through your brows. I like that it has the spoolie here, but the truth is I would be much better served with having a actual, instead of a sponge tip like this, having an actual brush. That would be more helpful. And then I like that it comes, you know, in the shape of an eyebrow, and you have lighter here showing that you're supposed to use a lighter shade to the center of your arch, and then from the arch of your brow out the darker shade. I find that I get really good results when I use this. I almost feel like this is like, I can throw this away. But if you look at it closely, you'll see I spend a lot more time in that dark powder. I like it. I feel like the mirror is useful. I do find it that I use it while I'm doing my brows. This is one I'll keep. I have tried almost all of the brow products from Benefit. This is one that a lot of people like, Ka-Brow. It has a brush right here in the cap. It's kind of a stiff angled brush here. I don't think it's as precise as I would want to be putting my brows on. And then underneath here, you have a little pomade. This is shade number 3. I don't ever reach for this. I don't think that this is going to be something I'm going to use, so I'm going to skip that. The other 2 products I have from Benefit are these guys. The Precisely My Brow is a great brow pencil. I just wish it wasn't so expensive. I feel like I would be much better served if I was using the shade 3.5, maybe even the shade 4. I haven't checked in a long time. I picked these up a couple years ago in a holiday set, and this one here is the Goof Proof brow pencil. Both of the brow pencils have a spoolie on one side. This one here, the Goof Proof, has a chunkier pencil. It makes thicker lines. I feel like it pulls a little warm. I don't know. I feel like I can probably safely let this go and keep the Precisely My Brow. I have had this dip brow for forever. This is the shade Taupe. I've obviously used it a lot. It looks like it's getting a little dry. So this is what Taupe looks like. I feel like this is a good match for like the inside of my brows right in through here. I haven't used this in a long time. I feel like it's safe to let this go. I'm much less comfortable with a product like this where you have to draw precise with a brush. Hairs, I don't know that I have a good brush for it. Some people really love brow pomades. I prefer a pencil and a powder or a tinted brow gel. That's just easiest for me. I'm gonna let that go. I went through a couple of the brow pencils I already have, but I think it's best just to go through the rest of these. This is one from Trestique. This is called their mini brow pencil. This is the shade Americano. I actually liked the shape of this. It's a little bit thinner than the Goof Proof brow pencil. Ooh, this is dried out though because it's not making a mark, not to save its life. Well, okay. Out you go. This product is from L'Oreal. This is possibly the worst brow product I have ever tried. This is the Age Perfect Brow Magnifying Pencil. All right, so it's a sharpenable pencil on one side. And after you draw it on, it's a little bit powdery, but 3 times spooling through it, and wait, where did it go? It's like the magical erasing pencil. You know, okay, there it is. 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? Where'd it go? Do not buy this if you want to actually see your pencil and blend. You can buy this if you're gonna put it in one spot. I didn't find that it wore really well when I finally did get it to work. I don't like this. This to me is just trash. I feel like this is a gimmick. I feel like there are some really good things in the Age Perfect line. I like the foundation, I like the concealer, I feel like the powder's nice, I feel like there's a lot of good stuff. I like their lipstick, but this I feel like we're putting something out for mature skin. Let's make sure we include a brow pencil, but what's the worst one we have? Don't buy that. I don't know how it happened, but I have 3 of the pencils from NYX. These are the micro brow pencils. Are they all the same shade? No, I have 2 in taupe and 1 in ash brown. I feel like taupe is the shade that is a little light for me now. When I used to dye my hair, I feel like taupe worked really well. This is taupe. It's a little warm for me. I can let both of my taupe brow pencils go. I do like this micro pencil from NYX. I think it's a really great pencil. The other one I have is ash brown. This is definitely a better match to my eyebrows. The one in taupe is a little too warm, so I'll hang on to this one. This one from Wander Beauty I got in a boxy charm, and it says it's a universal taupe shade, but I don't think that this shade would work on everybody. It's also really dry. I don't think I need that one. I love this one from e.l.f. This is one of my favorite pencils. It's very, very affordable. This is the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I have the shade Neutral Brown. Oh, it's one of my faves. Right here. It's a great color match for my eyebrows. On top of that, I feel like the spoolie is nice. You're able to spoolie the product through, but it doesn't completely erase the line. That's me having spoolied it, but I really like this. I think it's $5. Totally worth it at the drugstore. A great affordable pencil, and it comes in a variety of shade ranges. Another one that comes in a lot of shades is the one from LA Girl. This is the Shady Slim Brow Pencil, and this one here is medium brown. So this is the one from LA Girl. I think it's actually a really good pencil. I feel like it's a little warm for the way that I am wanting my brows to look these days, so I feel like I can let this one go. But I feel like they do have a wide range. The hardest part though is finding your exact shade match. And that's always a thing that can make brows go from being like exactly what you want to what's going on here. If you have the wrong shade, if it's too warm, if it's too cool, if it's too light, if it's too dark, it can look like a Sharpie eyebrow. It can look like you have fuzzy orange caterpillars on your eyebrows. It all depends on the undertone. I think that if you like a kind of medium stiff pencil that is really fine tipped, that one from LA Girl would be great. You just have to find your correct shade, or your brows could be. I have 2 brow pencils from Colourpop. This is their Precise Brow, I forget what it's called. It's not actually on the packaging, but this is the shade Bangin' Brunette. It's the correct shade for me. It's this one right here. I think it's a really good pencil, but the thing that I hate about it is that this comes undone all the time. Sometimes you're spooling your brows, you'll get a little tiny crack here where it, like you can see it's right there, and as you're spooling it, it just falls out. Or you go and take this part off, and sometimes this sticks in here. I just feel like the packaging is substandard for these. These are also ones where they only advance, they don't roll down. You can only roll them up. I feel like it's really smart to keep this in advance only packaging because when products are this skinny, they're more likely to snap if you're rolling them up and down. So I think that's a wise choice. I just struggle with the fact that the spoolies, I'm surprised I have a spoolie here because normally they end up like this. And that's really frustrating to me. This is the $2 e.l.f. brow pencil. Everything's more expensive these days. Is this still $2? I don't know. This one is in the shade Neutral Brown. It's a chunkier pencil, significantly thicker, but this is one of those pencils, I think I have enough of it left that I'm gonna hang on to it for the days that I don't really wanna spend time like drawing in something really precise. I just want something really quick to kind of tint the bolder spots, you know, brush it through and go, because this spoolies really nicely. It has a really good spoolie on it. I can't believe how affordable this is. If you like a chubbier brow pencil and you don't have a lot of filling in to do, or you don't like those hair-like pushes and strokes, this is a great pencil, super affordable. That one's staying. Now, my all-time favorite brow pencil, hands down, is the M Cosmetics brow pencil. This one is called their Fine Liner Brow Pencil. This is the shade Deep Taupe. The reason that I like this pencil is if you look at it one way, it looks like a little skinny dash, and then the other way it's a lot wider, but instead of being round, it looks like a little hash mark, like a little line, and it makes the best, most precise brow hairs, most realistic looking of any pencil I have. This comes in a lot of shades. Deep Taupe is my perfect color. It is what I'm wearing in my brows today in conjunction with the other M product. This is the one, it's been a long time since I've repurchased the same brow pencil. This is one that I have already repurchased. I think this is my third one this year. I have repurchased the NYX one a lot. I feel like this replaced the Anastasia Brow Wiz for me. The Brow Wiz is great. I just finished one a couple of weeks back, but I'll tell you, I don't know that I need to pay the 20 some odd dollars for that when I can get these for 10 bucks. I feel like it's a really great comparable thing. And the one that I am just like knocked off the floor by formula wise, as well as the shade is such a perfect shade match for me, is this one from e.l.f. But if I were to choose a favorite, this one right here, M all the way, such good stuff. Ooh, I just discovered this. This is something I can definitely let go. This is from the brand Cella. It's our Tantalizing Taupe Brow Cream. So one end has a brush and the other end has a little teeny tiny tube of brow cream. I have used this before. It works okay. I don't really care for it, and I'm not going to keep something that I don't like. This came in a boxy charm. It's not something I said, I want that, but it does work all right. It's just not a fave. This is a product I'm surprised I still have. I don't think Pure makes this anymore, but it's their Browder, Perfecting Brow Powder. So it has kind of like a felt applicator, and it's covered in brow powder. And the idea was you would just kind of, you know, string it through your brows like this. And yeah, that's great, except for there's a lot of fallout, as you can see. And I don't like that. I don't know why I haven't gotten rid of it before this. I think that when I could get it, I'd knock off as much powder beforehand and then I would drag it through my brows. I think it worked really well to give me powder in really precise areas, but I feel like a brush in something like this works just as well with less potential for getting, you know, fallout powder everywhere. Okay, just down to brow gels. And boy, do I have a few. One of the ones that I love the most is from NYX. It's Control Freak. It's just a clear brow gel. And this is one, it's got a really giant wand. I wish it had a slightly smaller wand on it. But this is one that I definitely use on days where I have like powder in my brows, and then I have a few hair strokes from a pencil, and then I just want the rest of it just to stand up and to stay in place. This is kind of a crunchy, freeze your brows in place. So if you don't like that hairspray feel to your brows, you won't like this. But I feel like it does an excellent job of keeping my brows standing straight up. I'm gonna hang on to this. This is a product I really wanted to love. It's the Brow Styler from Almei. I have the shade Medium Brown. It has a really skinny wand on it, but they're really not like massive bristles. They're super short. I find that the gaps that you see between them are the downfall for me. A lot of product gets caught in those larger gaps. And I feel like this might work better if you had a fuller, fluffier brow. Emily Noel recommended this, and I think it works for her because her brows are naturally fluffier than mine. She doesn't really need to do as much like taming and filling in. And I feel like I have a lot of brow hair to here, and then from here on out, especially on this side, I have very, very thin brows. I feel like I have like 4 little eyebrow hairs, and trying to work this through there, it just didn't work for me. So it might work for you if you have fuller brows, but I'm gonna have to let that go. I've had this for a long time. This is the Brow Boss gel from Colourpop. I feel like this is a good gel. Is it my favorite? No. It does come with a really small spoolie, but as you can see, it gets a little thick. I'm forever like taking the time to just wipe it off before I even take it to my eyebrow so that I don't have nearly as much product on there, and then this ends up getting really goopy and gross. I feel like this is a good brow gel, but I feel like I can get better ones at the drugstore, and I'm not making a lot of Colourpop purchases these days. I'm gonna let that go. I like this Boost and Set from L'Oreal. This is their Brow Stylist Boost and Set. I have the shade, I think it says Deep Brunette, but it is literally the tiniest wording on there. I can't tell you what it says. I'm just gonna think it's Deep Brunette. The problem I have with this is this little offset brush, because if you look at it, right here, it collects a lot of product. And if you're not careful, that product ends up on your eyebrows in an unfortunate space. So I always end up just kind of wiping down the wand so I don't get too much on there. I do like that it's a really skinny wand, just as long as you're aware that there's a lot of product in here. I feel like this works really well. I think it does have fibers in it, and it really does tint my brows significantly. And if I get it on the skin underneath, it does stay there pretty well as well. I think I'm gonna hang on to this. I think it's a pretty good brow gel. So one that I know I'm basically out of is this one. This is the Hourglass Arch Volumizing Fiber Gel. It's very expensive. It's $28, I forget. I feel like it's rather expensive for what it is. It has an interesting brush where it has shorter bristles on one side, longer on the other. I feel like if you're trying to lay product down, using the shorter side is easy, and then you can flip it over to the longer bristles and then use that to kind of rake through your brows to disperse the color. I feel like it's a good product. I think it works really well, but I have products that work just as good at a much less expensive price. I have, say, the shade Soft Brunette, and this is pretty dry now. I'm not getting any good performance out of it, so this can go into my declutter. A favorite brow gel of mine that I have recently repurchased, and I'm kind of going between two, is the Glossier Boy Brow. I think this is a fabulous product. I loved it when it first came out, and then I fell in love with other things and I forgot it for a while, and I got a new one late summer and I have been using it so much. All right, so it has a little teeny tiny, it's a little shorter, a little stumpier than the other one. This is just a shade brown. They don't have a ton of shades, but I feel like this is a nice, cool, deeper tone, so you don't end up with like fuzzy orange caterpillars on your eyebrows. This is not a fiber formula. This has more of a waxy, and not in a bad way where it feels sticky and goopy, but like I always back comb my eyebrows. So I start at the tail and I brush it through all the way to the front multiple times, especially here in the front to fill in spaces. And then I'll go through and kind of brush them up exactly where I want them. And this formula, because it has a bit of a stiffness to it, a little bit of a waxy feeling. And I always say wax, but it not in a bad way. My eyebrows don't feel crunchy, they don't feel stiff, but they stay in place. And I do get that really fluffy, voluminous look. I think part of it is the technique of back combing my brows, but I also feel that it's just this product in general. This is an excellent product and one that I would happily continue to repurchase. One that I feel is a really great drugstore option to Boy Brow if you don't want to pay the Glossier, I think it's 20 bucks, is this right here. This is the Wet n Wild Brow Obsessive. It instantly reminded me of Boy Brow when I got it. This is a brow shaping gel. It doesn't say that it has any fibers in it. This one is all dried out, but it has a very similar short wand on it. It comes in white packaging. I mean, like it really does have a lot of those same feelings. And this here is the shade Brown. Just like Glossier. This one is pretty much like finished up. I know I've needed a new one for a long time, but since I have the Glossier, I'm going to use that for a while. But this is one that I would definitely repurchase. It's, I think, like $5. It's definitely under 10. It's a really good product and a good alternative to the Glossier Boy Brow. I think it's really great. I feel like Boy Brow lasts a little bit longer though. Not wear time, but like my one tube of Boy Brow lasts longer than this one. This one didn't last as long as I thought it would. Oh, I fell in love with this. I tried this year for the first time and I was like, what? It was so good. This is the Wow Brow. This is a fiber brow product that's $5. This beats out the one from Hourglass. I think this is incredible. I use the shade Neutral Brown. It's a perfect shade match to my favorite Ultra Precise brow pencil. It is also a perfect shade match to the big chubby one from e.l.f. I get all of the e.l.f. products in Neutral Brown. They're just perfect for me. But on days when I'm not wearing a lot of makeup, I'm sure you have those days where you don't have time for a full face. You want to just take care of a few things. For me, it's like I put a little bit of concealer here. I'll put something in my brows and then I'll put on a lipstick, a sheer lipstick, and then I'll dab my fingers here and like pat it on as blush. I literally wear 3 makeup items and I'm out the door. And on days like that, when I don't want a really drawn on brow, real heavy brow to be balanced out by heavy makeup, this is the best because it's so lightweight. You can just brush it on through your brows. It gives you a little bit of definition. It keeps your brows in place. It's so good. But it also is great if you draw your brows on with a pencil and then you want to get a look like this. This is my favorite product. I feel like it's so good. Highly underrated. I'm going to hang on to this. Now that I've told you there's some really great things at the drugstore, the Brow Sessa I love, the one from e.l.f. My all-time favorite is the one from M. It's the one that I'm wearing today. This is the Micro Fluff Sculpting Brow Cream. I have the shade Universal Taupe. I love the super skinny little teeny tiny wand in here. It is a little bit longer. I love it. Okay, let me find my mirror. And I always end up, you know, back combing my brows because it gets the product on the back side of the hairs. And it also allows me to carefully place it on my skin where I want it. And then I go through and I feel like just by brushing through here and placing them exactly where I want, I get exactly what I'm looking for. I love this so much. I have 2 pencils that are left. These are different types of pencils. This one is from Sephora. It's their Illuminating Brow Enhancer. And it is basically a bright, well, it's not bright, but a pink kind of cream highlight that you could use just under the arch of your brow. I don't find that I use products like this. I can let that go. And this is a pencil I used to buy religiously. Before I started using color in my brows, I wanted my brows to just kind of stay where I put them. I would run this through them. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the Brow Fix. I don't even know if this is still good anymore because I don't remember it being quite this yellow. I think, well, it still smells like it used to, but the idea is that you put this in your brows and then you can kind of brush your brows and they stay where you put them. And I prefer wax in a pencil delivery method as opposed to having a pot that I have to dip a brush into. I feel like, you know, doing this would be really good. I just haven't used this in a long time and it's safe for me to let that go. I have fallen in love with brow pens. My favorite one is the brow pen from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is basically a brush tipped pen where you can draw on little hair-like strokes. I think it is amazing and I love these so much. This one is $20 some odd from ABH, but there are other ones from the drugstore. You can get one from NYX and you can get one from Milani. I'm sure there are other brands out there as well. I find that my favorite of the 2 drugstore ones, this one right here is the one from Milani. I feel like the one from NYX is good, but it's a little shinier when it hits the skin. And then it ends up looking like you have a shiny spot on your eyebrow. And so this is, if I were to get rid of one, I'd probably get rid of this one. But I do really love how fine like the tip is. It's really great. And this is one of those, you know, the more you press, the more fat chunky pigment you get, or you can make it, you know, super small and hair-like. I feel like this is a really great product. I just wish it didn't dry down shiny. The one from ABH is not shiny. I feel like the one from Milani is just a little bit shiny, but this one ends up being like, almost looks like patent leather. So I'm gonna let the one from NYX go, and I'm gonna keep the other two. I'm keeping these 14 brow products, and I'm getting rid of these 22 brow products. I can definitely tell based on the sort of brow products that I'm getting rid of and the ones that I'm keeping in my collection, the sort of brow person that I am. What are my priorities? What am I looking for? What is my favorite mode of application? And then on top of that, the journey that my eyebrow product preference has been through. And I feel like I'm finally settling on something where my brows are not too dark, they're not too intense, they still look kind of fluffy and youthful, and that's always my goal. But I feel also that finding the right products for the type of brow that I have, since they're sparse in areas and fluffy in others, it is kind of a difficult thing. And I think if you have really full fluffy brows, you don't understand the struggle. Or if you have fewer brow hairs than I do, then you really understand how just the right thing can make all the difference, or make you look like a crazy person. Let me know down below what your favorite brow product is. Brows are one of those things where I just won't use what doesn't work for me, hence so much just sitting in my drawer. I'm glad to have only what I know I'm gonna use right here, and the stuff that I habitually repurchase. I would love to know what your favorite brow product is. What's the one thing that you consistently repurchase, or if you've stumbled across something new that you love, that you think has potential for being amazing in your long-term love, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.